insists that Davis won't change as long as she's around, but Davis tells her that her magic juice has run out. He starts morphing and punches Bart and Dinah. Oliver takes aim, then Chloe jams the black kryptonite into Davis's ass. No, into his heart. Can you believe it? Into his heart. I mean, Chloe. Doomsday painfully ejects out of Davis's body and growls in his face. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
That was cool.
Davis coming face
This
to
was
face with
great.
himself.
This was a great scene.
Jimmy arrives in the abandoned car and plucks the crypto dart out of Clark. This is a good scene too. His scars heal and the music gets John Williamsy. Jimmy is thrilled to tears to find out that he's been right all along. Clark is the blow. Clark tells Jimmy to give his wedding gift to Pony now to ensure her and Davis' safety. Clark asks if Jimmy trusts him. Jimmy says, always, CK. He watches Clark speed off. That was very sweet.
Yeah, this is probably the reason, like, you'll see Mark, he'll know the real story of who he is, the red blue blur, and we gotta kill him.
Yeah.
And then we can't kill Jimmy, then we'll make his nephew some shit Jimmy was.
I was kind of waiting for Clark to say, when, and really,
Yeah.
There was no time.
There's no time. Clark sneaks in the geothermal facility and finds everyone unconscious on the floor. Julia rises and telling them that she split Davis. Clark's superheroes destruction in Metropolis. He asks the now awake Reed if he can trust them to go through with the plan, and they confirm.
Clark speeds to Metropolis. He stops at a phone booth and wonders about Lois for a sec before almost getting hit by a flooding car.
What's better than facing off against the creator of the Shinhagyu School of Combat? Facing a bunch of his best students at the same time.
Then Claw punched him for a storefront. Doomsday super jumps in front of him and fires. He charges up a black foot, but Clark pops up and uses perfect tackle form to drive Doomsday through the atmosphere and crash down, smack dab in the middle of the geothermal facility.
To peaceful dawn lights of the Metropolis. Chloe and Jimmy pace around with unfinished work. That is actually a place overlooking the whole city of Clear watching. He says he knows about the heart and understands the sacrifices she made for her. She knows that. They bring it in one final stage. That's his flesh. That's the way Jimmy Davis got things stabbed him with a knife. He's got my full fight. He's got close love. She said she nothing left to say. Lunges out. Jimmy gets up. Davis through a protruding spike. Jimmy collapses in a Chloe's house. He says that Chloe meets him at once, promising big empty room now with two dead guys in it. Yeah, it's tragic. It's Romeo and Juliet. Why was Davis now he's human?
Davis wants to possess the person. Jimmy wants to give like that. And that's because he get careful.
They really want to take and yeah, it's very big. I guess the theme of the season was just humanity versus I think the point was that versus that Clark was trying to save the human inside the beast, but the human was tainted. And there was no saving
Got to run away. That's just the song. Peter photographs negatives of her and Jimmy in the coffin. Oliver sheds the tear. Jimmy puts a hand in the soul of love. Chloe gifts the Jimmy's hand. Also negative the last. Clark watches from a distance.
They're real. It's funny because in the sense so Oliver killed Lex. He's become
Clark gets the blood stain. Chloe comes downstairs and hugs him. because he got out before Dinah detonated the blast. Also, and he lost Virginia's death because of humanity the human, not the monster. He tells Chloe to get rid of the law, and she says Ginny is still watching her. Barclay's still evil, but that's not all. Human science saying everything understand. Chloe's dead. He disappears in his trench coat. So he's again left moving.
And after this time, you know, all like, you want to have a high test. And the new holding the flaming sea low etched in the ground. So that was from interesting.
There you go.
Sam Shoulders.
The Sanders set.
I thought it was Sam. It was Chloe was captured. I don't know. Why is
I don't need more Sam. We're gonna do this. Yeah, but all of a sudden,
Why did he come back?
Sam too? I don't know if the partner told him, like,
Well, I'm saw that. Let's check this out. Just, I guess that's no, I just didn't agree. It shocked me.
guys,
Yeah.
so,
Our guests are Sam and let's do it. Talk to us brought to you by Long Man. Listen to us. Natural supplement designed for healthy testosterone levels, which can help your body efficiently and gain muscle. Look, when your hormones are working the way they're supposed to, a lot of things can get workout, energy, even staying low. And as you get older, I can tell you, you're eating those. It's not even the story. As you get older, your body and you have to start swimming back and lose the muscle faster. And what is the main reason for that? It's testosterone. Most testosterone start dropping as early as your 30s. And fat, your stomach, and more fat gain on your body. Estrogen makes it easy to be right. So if you want to get to looking better, feeling better, this stuff will help.
and there's no thing or synthetic hormones.
Why I'm obsessed with this product? It's because I just feel like my body doesn't snap back into the same like it used to. So you gotta boost these things. When you're younger, you don't do it. You do. It's 90 days. Worst case, you don't have it. You get just check out the website and save yourself. Off life, it's free shipping, and 35 gifts at mangotomars.com. That's mangotomars.com. 50% off. Gifts when you check out. Talkville treat. So I just want to say thank you guys for taking the time to be on the show for the series finale. Sam. Yeah. And well, Sam is not doing that. You come back. I don't know what happens. I've never seen the show. Is this your first? It's pretty good. You know what? This is using my thoughts. I never watched a show where I was in not clear, but I actually really enjoyed the season, the performances and the stories, and I'm surprised. I'm pleasantly surprised because I think you guys just for
really relies upon both of you. One of the things was what is Clark waiting? He's like, I'm gonna go save the world and I lose the arm. But don't. Clark is the slow part. You guys, it was fun to see the way you guys go through it. You know, you both have the same objective, which is Clark. And in terms of insecurity.
So my first question is for Sam. Sam, I struggled with this too, but your job was to make you likable, make want to feel for you, even though we knew innately he had peace within him. And so there are moments where you're just trying to be like, no, I'm too bad right now. You fight the badness and like you do it like the characters and you so bad as an actor. Yeah, so maybe I'm just trying to make it good. But I figured, yeah, he was definitely in that war. And then I guess he drank Jimmy with that really it's a lot of damage. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's watching the performance just like season 9 or season 8 of some superhero stuff, and yet you guys commit 150% to everything you're doing, and it shows. There's not like a wait to the audience. There's not a moment where I don't believe you. That's it gets tiring when I'm saying everything all the time. So it's all for us. So it's like we like big deal for us, right? The show, the characters, the role. So it is. I totally agree with you. If you do something for a long enough amount of time, you kind of get used to it. It kind of becomes a bit repetitive. But I would say, at least for me, I hadn't got tired of it. I hadn't got so into a routine where it just felt like I've done this before. Especially this last season because they were doing stuff sort of heighten things and it's be more the actual great story. In that regard, that we get there to take things seriously because when you're working and you're my mark's here and you're just kind of speaking the words and you're kind of you're not performing and that's your actual work here. Did this thing that just cracked me up. You ran to take it by the community. You ran to someone to think about it. It was the deliberate attention. Challenge. We see this happens on the show. And I'm just laughing my ass off. It was just a rehearsal. And that was whenever something weird happened on the show, me or Aaron said to each other, be like, well, it's a shadow creature. Monsters breaking out of the thing there. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We're going to figure it out. It's going to be fun. It was a reminder to not play it like that. It was a reminder to take it like, oh, this is really very, very serious what's happening here. And we're not ready for this. But during rehearsals, we were, it was all just, what monster is it? Oh, it's this monster. Okay, got it.
This is just because I don't want to forget it, but because I was thinking about this when I was thinking about the episode. And I don't know if it happened this episode, but at some point, I was wearing a warm-up jacket, and I went into the pockets, and there was prescription pills, and they were huge, this package like blister. And then I was like, what are these? Like antipsychotic drugs, and then I was like, and then I started thinking like, who's some antipsychotics? And then I was like, Sam, was it your hair popping up or something? Like, something? I think so. I think that that somebody had left their like high dose antipsychotic jacket. You should have tried them. Then Aaron looked at the name tag and it was Lex Luthor. And I'm like, you said the thing, I was like, I didn't even, It's just a funny little thing.
When did you know, both of you, I'll start with Sam, when did you know you were going to die at the end of the season?
They told me that way early in the season with the scouts.
Wow.
I think they told me about halfway through the season for me. It was about halfway through. James Marshall was like, "Hey, I'm gonna talk to you," and I was like, "Shit."
But wait a minute. Aaron,
He brought me up to his office to pat me on the back or to tell me what a good job I was doing.
Yeah, you know what though? It's better to be informed than to read a script and be like, what?
I totally agree. And he did it in a very tasteful way. But as soon as I got called to the office, I was kind of like, this doesn't feel like good news. It doesn't feel like positive.
but let me ask you. When they said you're going to die, you're like, well, wait a minute, Jimmy Olsen died.
Yeah. I was a little butthurt about the whole thing because, again, I was like, I'm Jimmy Olsen, and I knew that potentially, you never a guarantee on the show. Maybe you don't know, dude, they're not liking you or whatever. But I wasn't expecting to be killed off. So I was kind of like, shit, man, I got a great run here. Like, there's only places for this character. Like, I was like, Clark and Jimmy could become sort of friends or something. Like, they which they haven't pushed that. So I was like, and then I was like, but so I was like very disappointed. I didn't see it coming.
Honestly, it's like a minute or so. It's a mistake. It's a mistake. It should have. They got you so much that they
I do have to say, did they offer you another? Because I remember this conversation too. They wanted you to do something. So really what I really wanted to do. I remember at some point that you were like, yeah, they're asking to stay in that's the role of like this type of thing. So
Sam, that's true. Well, just first to talk about Aaron's Jimmy. I thought that I didn't like killing Jimmy. Sure, having really hard time.
Sold it on the day. You sold it very well. It was a great scene. Like I actually liked that scene.
He also looked like you didn't want to do it.
It's an interesting thing to be completely stabbing someone through like the back of this giant spear. Yeah, they wanted me to play Zom. One of my first serial killer, and his likeness has been another character. It's just like Jill, without being arrested immediately. They're like, well, we'll figure it out. Oh, no. Give your mustache.
A little conflicted, like, it's flattering obviously for somebody to offer you something, but you're just like, I don't know if that makes sense.
I didn't know they did this. Because they were like, he's like, this is out of the Davis. He's like, party guy, he's going to be going out doing this. I'm like, going where? Where is he now? Where's he? Yeah. You walk in and serial killer around your party. So, yeah, I felt like they were picking themselves. So I urged them. Remember that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Another location. Area.
Here, you know what? Let's get creative. Stand by. Keep talking about I'll be right back.
So, Aaron, how was
It was good. It was good. I think I was thinking about things that had happened, and I think I talked about this at one point when I was talking to one of you guys. But I do remember that last day, that was the only scene I was shooting.
Was your last day that day died?
Yes. Yeah, which was really nice actually. Like in a way, you can kind of do that at the end. But I think I told you guys, I've mentioned this at some point, that I think Monday, Friday before, so the actors had seen, I don't know who it was, but they were not off book and it was taking forever, and James got really pissed and was like, no sides on set. Everybody's got to know their lines. Everybody's got to be off book. I'm not doing this kind of thing. And so I showed up on Monday. Like, I didn't know what happened on Friday. I was there. I showed up on set. And there's no sides. I'm like, you guys, can I get a set of sides? And they're like, oh, sorry, there's no sides. The game was and they did no sides on set. He's like, well, the actors, I guess, didn't have the and forever. I was a little pissed. So, whatever. And I was like, but what do you mean? Like, I love the lines, but like there's first thing, but like I didn't do this. Eventually, they're like, we can't give them to you. So I had to go and talk to James, and I was like, James, I need sides, brother. Like, this is crazy. I was not there. It's not my fault. I was like, am I at book when I come to set? He's like, yeah. Am I prepared? Am I professional? Yeah. And I was like, so why can't I have my sides, man? And then finally he's like, okay. But it was just one of those things where that's where I remember it starting out like that. And I was like, what happened? Okay. God, that's intense.
What was my fault?
That's intense. I like it. It's juicy, though. It's Michael wasn't there.
What's better than facing off against the creator of the Shin Kageyu's School of Combat? Facing a bunch of his best students at the same time.
I didn't have that relationship where I felt like so it started like that. Kind of like, this is going to be a long day, but it worked out. Just like, Sam, you sad when the day left was an emotional day, or your last day?
So, just more emotional for like how violent the scene was and how I killed Jimmy. And it's very hard to do. So I think when we were done with that scene, it was definitely everything. I think that was the last scene shot.
And yeah, I think so. That was a wrap. Both of you? Yeah. I know they were just looking at that, right? So it's kind of nice. This is my last day. I got killed. I'm moving on. You know, I have some exposure to that.
You get stabbed with stuff. You do this thing, and then you have to do this scene 2 days later where you're like, okay, fuck, that's what I'm doing. Yeah. That's the twist. You know that happens. You want your death to be blind.
I did a show where I got killed the last day of the season, and they talked to me about the idea that was going for the next season. And it was like 4 months later, and I was like, so I guess I just done it.
Aaron, the little kid at the end, he's supposed to be the actual Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, that's the idea is that my character, his brother.
Just give me 1 second.
Oh, yes!
That is such No, I think my name technically was Henry James Olsen, and he was actually like James Olsen. So for whatever reason I dropped it. And again, I don't know if this is something that they just like were in the last minute. They're like, how do we make this work? I don't remember at any point. Probably they could watch and they're like, you know, now it's everything. You know, and then you had the budget, it wouldn't have been me. So yeah, Tom was half the budget. And he deserved it. Yeah.
Yeah,
rightfully so. They offered you, Sam, to come back in some fashion. They offered him money was the same thing.
I think there's a negotiation, but there was for me, it was that I thought they weren't doing themselves any favors by hiring me to do that, and then the other thing was I just kind of wanted to get back to LA and roll the dice to see what I could lead some. And that calculation paid off, but at the time it was a risk. Definitely a risk. But either way, I mean, again, the way they were pitching the Zod thing to me made no sense from where they left Davis. They couldn't do the things they were asking to do if he looked like Davis.
Yeah.
So I did bring that up and say, does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Going back a little bit toward the early thing about selling it, and you guys joking about, like, I found that too on the show, where like in the block news, you almost hear yourself saying these ridiculous things, And with your castmates, you're like, well, we got to sell it. So you kind of like lock in, right? And what I saw in that big scene that you guys did was like, I totally believed that Jimmy had bought that space for Chloe. That was a good surprise. That was beautiful. I totally got when they're like, we got to kill Davis, and you go, and you kind of like, you think you're not awake, and you're like, no, they have to. And I just bought it. Like, you guys just sold it, and that's what I was saying earlier. Is it sells the episode as your performances. It really does. I'm not just trying to compliment you. It's just a fact.
Yeah, well, I think, our job is to lock in on those things. And, I don't know about you guys, but it doesn't matter what I'm working on. I'm going to commit to it because that's the job that I'm doing right now. And, like, sometimes that's harder than other times, but that's the job, right? And also, like, an audience knows the difference, too. Like, right? Like, they will respond to you in a different way when you're actually committed versus like sometimes you're not phoning it in, but you're not quite as dedicated to it. I've noticed over the years that people really can tell the difference. And so if you want to have an impact, then I think that's just what you need to do. Even sometimes when you're like, yeah, there's crazy things being thrown at you, but the audience wants to believe it. They want to be locked into it, and we can help that, right?
And if you're locked in, you can create little moments for your character that may not be there.
Exactly. Well, you're confused. You're always looking for insert something interesting.
You know what the most important thing is? What's that? The director said this. This might have been Bean. He said, he goes, I go, you got it. He's like, you think you got it? He goes, hey, once we lock, that's forever. So that's forever for everybody. Your space, that moment, whatever you're doing, that's it. That's your work, and it's going to be on.
You're happy with it because
it's there for the world to see.
Yeah.
Well, and it's on Netflix now.
You guys are so good at making those moments real that I think the way that I worked it out is I was just reminded this when I talked to you guys last time. I would during the rehearsal, I would go over the top during the rehearsals. I would lose my shit during the rehearsals because I was like, these are huge things that are happening and shadow creatures, all kinds of stuff. So I'd lose my shit over the rehearsal, and then when it was time to roll, I'd sort of work that out, and then whatever the truth was left over. I was sort of like, everything felt true after I had a freak out over what it is that was happening.
I had a term for that somebody taught me called breaking the ceiling. You blow it out of the water so that you can come back to what is actually there.
Yeah.
So that resonates.
That's it. What do you got coming up? Anything you want to talk about, Sammy?
Oh, just working on stuff. It's hard. Yeah, just working on stuff.
You're probably trying to produce and create and write. That's the
Yeah, and it's hard.
It is. But you just keep doing it. It pays off. And, for me, it's like now it took me long enough to realize that it's actually being in it and just doing it. Before you sell it, before you whatever, sometimes that's where the fun is. For me, absolutely. So, keep rocking. Aaron?
Well, on Netflix right now, on a show called I Will Find You, which is really popular. But so that's if anybody wants to watch that, please do.
Hell yeah.
And then I'm doing a couple TV movies and stuff like that. I'm off to Victoria. I was supposed to do the Smallville cruise this year, but I booked the deal, so I'm going out to Victoria to do it. But I am signed up for next year, so I'm looking forward to that.
It's okay. No one's upset. Everybody's happy for you. Just see it.
Thank you, guy. Which I assume people understand, right? That it is what it is, right? But I am right away. They're like, "Do you want to come next year?" Though, and I was like, "Absolutely." So just cranking my same set, just trying to piece it all together, and feeling lucky for everything.
So you got the Darth Maul thing, right?
No, our season went well. We did very well. And I like the season. I like it. So we're working on more. So
Yes.
that's it.
Give me a quick Darth Maul, just say, as your character in Smallville, talking to your character in Smallville.
Talking to James Marshall. Okay. Darth Maul to James Marshall about. I don't think it makes sense that I play song. It makes no sense. How about that? Is that good?
That's awesome. I love it. Dude, I love you guys. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for doing this.
Thanks, you guys. Hey, this is so fun that we're having this on. Honestly, it's always really, really fun to come and talk about this and shoot with you guys. So thank you guys for doing it.
Well,
Absolutely.
keep not aging, both of you.
Yeah, you guys look fucking beautiful. Get out of my face. All right, we love you.
Thanks, guys.
Talkville is brought to you by Move. This, you know, I'm going to be excited about this one. Did you know, Tom, that there's an online cannabis company that ships federally legal THC right to your door? And they found a way to combine THC with carefully selected functional ingredients to create gummies, baked goods, and flour for whatever selection of flour, pre-rolls, bakery treats, and beverages. This is just sent when you first order. Try it today at mood.com. I love these guys. Interesting things of note. The priest recites Jimmy's full name as Henry James Olsen, and Chloe gives his little brother his camera and says, maybe someday you'll follow in his footsteps. So perhaps little bro is the canonical
James Bartholomew.
James Bartholomew Olsen from the comics. Canonical? Never used canonical.
Yeah.
Like,
No, or but always.
yeah, canonical, like canon.
Yeah.
Father. No?
Canon fodder is different from being part of the story canon.
But canonical in a sense. Besides this.
Put them on a t-shirt.
So you know
I
it?
was going to use the same substance. It's something that it's canonical. It means it's part of like the overarching story. It's part of the long story. It's like,
There's a comic book storyline in which Doomsday actually kills Superman. In our episode, Clark simply declares that Clark Kent is dead, perhaps as an allusion to that comic plot.
someone theorized.
Hotline! Looking for the hotline, baby. All right. We got Michael P. Patron Privilege. We're going to go right to it.
Hey Talkville, it's Michael P. from Texas. The season 8 finale Doomsday is finally here, and I think some fans are divided on how Clark showed how Doomsday played out. If you could change one thing about their battle, what would it be and why? Thanks.
I think Clark could have gotten to it sooner.
Is that what you think?
Yeah. I don't know, maybe there could have been like I don't know if they cut the dialogue. I don't know if the beast speaks. Maybe it doesn't speak. Maybe that was, maybe
It would have
it
been
was
cool.
so short.
It would have been cool if he kind of just looks at him and says, I'm here to just, destroy or something. I don't know.
Would have been looking just
Leah
Hey
Lane.
guys, Leah calling from California about Doomsday. I just want to give a shout out to Aaron because Jimmy is kind of the true hero of season 8, and I was just wondering what y'all thought about his tragic end. Did you think it was fitting? Did it piss you off? How do you feel? Thanks, love you guys.
Thank
Bye.
you, Lane. Yes, it pissed me off. It pissed me off. I didn't want to see him die. I thought he was an integral part of the show. I thought he brought life to it. He brought fun. He brought sweetness, kindness, and I was sad to see him not only go, but see that it wasn't actually Legion. So, that's my opinion. So I think we all kind of very happy, very good.
it sucks to kill the most innocent person in the thing. There's been other movies where I've seen that, and it turns out the whole thing.
Yeah.
But what's the point?
Yeah. What is it? Jacob, you're right. What is the point?
I got another time Ryan Jack here once again, and this was the season finale of season 8, Doomsday. Now, when Davis and the Beast are separated, and Davis still kills Jimmy, do you think that's because there's still some Beast remnants in Davis, or this is really who Davis really is? Thanks for the podcast, guys. We'll see you guys for the next season.
Hell yeah. That's a really good point.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of trying to get at.
Because Michael, shut up. Repeated Michael P.
Michael, shut up.
No, I think that is really interesting because maybe Ling was like, he came out of the Beast and maybe, I don't know, it seems like maybe it's part of the Beast lingered with him. And that's why he killed Jimmy. Or maybe he was so upset.
Or the Beast just found like a week so to feast on. Maybe this was just, he had a rough life and he never really had any stability or, so any kind of a good work or understanding.
Maybe he didn't want to be a beast of burden. introduction. Let's see what we got going on here.
Hey guys, this is Mira. Season 8, Doomsday. There's a question for Tom. So one of my favorite parts about Talkville is the behind-the-scenes camera angles and explanation as to why certain scenes resonate with the viewers. With your superhero, it looks like they do a 360. Can you explain or talk about that a little?
So Bob, I'll tell you what happens is they put down this track. It takes about 30 minutes to set up. The camera goes one way, and the trick is to move your feet in the opposite direction of the camera before you turn your head. And there's a pacing that you need to do. You have to be aligned with, or on time with the camera operators, the focus pullers. The good news is we've done this before, so it became not easy, it became everybody knew what they could do. But there's a big track that goes behind there, and there's going to be some visual effects that can help you out. But you usually do it 3 or 4 times, and then if you have to do one more, it's magic. Because you should have it figured out. And then the fun thing is about those scenes, and as a performer, you're trying to listen for something, and that focuses your eyes. You're not looking for something, you're trying to hear something, so you're following the eye, and that's why the camera moves around.
That's cool. Now, it's not as easy as it looks.
Kappa.
I think it's got to be.
They
you
look
have to
like
get into
Kappa.
that mindset.
And they
This looks
definitely
better.
smell
Looks
like
good.
Kappa.
Tex and Maria can lost the mask. Clark says Clark Kent is dead. You think Clark is doing what he thinks to her, wants to do, or is he truly making a decision that what he thinks expected of him?
Oh,
Maybe in the
I
back.
think Jorah is nudging sort of. Maybe
Maybe he's influenced by both.
I think the important thing to remember about Clark is that he's trying to figure it out all the time.
Yeah.
He doesn't know.
Yes.
It ends here.
Right. Two.
I think it's a good 2.5. I mean, if you showed somebody this episode, they'd be, what is this?
I didn't love it as much as you guys, but I love the depth of really packed. These little Rose. I'm gonna get Rose.
Are you sure? Because I mean, there's a lot of story change here.
There's a lot of goals, a lot of things to do that. But what saved it, I was like, and then it kicked in. And I was, okay, this is pretty good. I'm gonna step a little bit. Yeah, that was good. Jimmy saves Clark from the initial thing things from Doomsday. Clark said, from Captain Matt is vague, so here we are. For 22 episodes, 6 is dead. Series 309 dead. 309 safe. Ryan's been supposed to see. It's not.
Scene 1. The Doomsday Battle.
Just children.
Scene 2.
I actually believe you were Kappa. You feel foolish.
Scene 3.
Aaron and Santa to
Damn, I think you're right. Yeah, I immediately was going to say this.
Yeah, it's good.
There has to be. It's one to keep talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was sad. I mean,
I can see you teared up.
I think I did tear up when I watched it.
Did you?
I'm also jet lag, but also
Yeah.
when I watched it, it was like, it was rough. It's hard to watch. I liked
It was
both.
rough. It was rough.
Just real tragic. Real tragic.
That's it for the season. Wow. We completed 8 seasons. 8 seasons. Big round of applause to Ryan for killing his first season as a producer. And a big shout out to the man behind the scenes, Timmy, our editor. Tim, you're extraordinary. I love you. You kill it for both inside you and Talkville. Thank you, everybody who watches and supports us. Thank you for supporting Inside of You, Michael Rosenbaum. Thank you for being a patron. Thanks for just being with us for this ride. You never know when the ride will end, but living in the moment, I'm enjoying the ride, and appreciate you
Well, I mean,
guys.
in 2 seasons.
No problem. All right, let's take discussion online. Listen to your thoughts on the episode over on the socials at Talk Bill Podcast or Talk Bill Pod Show. Support by joining patreon.com/talkbill and Q1 and merch from the show or hotline number. You can find all that in the description. And remember, folks, always hold on to small. We'll see you later. And we couldn't do this without you guys, our patrons. Patreon.com/talkbill. Join you. Your name, shout out, so much more. It's such a wonderful community. We love you. The Ms. Leanne Medved, Raj, Sandigo M, Thomas Tom Turner, Little Lisa, Shane W, Betsy D, Avi P, Karen Apple N, 99 more, Leilani N, Rhett G. Always hold on to small.
Bob K, Tom N, Jason W, Lana Ram with Banana W, Nancy D, Teddy 127, Michael P, thanks for calling in, Andy B, Craig G, Elise K, Greg, Mark's mom, Clark's mom, Kristen B, Kevin E, Finky, Jammer's at Jeanette E, Doug R, Shanna I, Ken Limerick, I, Corey L, Mr. Homer K, Claire M, D Brown, Jules M, Eldon, Supremo, Brian B, Ginger Moose, Christoph S, Leah, Katie C, Michael Kyne,
Vulcan Wolf, and that was Manor, Matthew Lincoln B, Mary Lou L, Matt Maverick, Randy and Teresa, Cassie B, Danny Maribel L. I mean, did you have to really add more to that? Amy Mo, Maribel L.
Clean it up.
Mary K, Sophie L, Jeff H, when you're rich, you want face for eccentric. House of L, Alexander Castle, Derek B, Jenny D, 76, President Only Block, Jeffrey K, Small, Keith B, Smitten Lois, 50K, Danny Z, completing the audio C, David L, as told by Helen, Dr. J, Kurt F, Lois, 28, Dr. P, Dr. T, Eduardo, Nancy, 6, Nam and L, right? Naman L, Small with the Life, and Bobby B, Tommy,
Kendrick F, Stacy Beth L, Audible, Melanie P, Charlie M, Cheyenne F, AJ S, Tom, Michael's friend, Mickey, Syrian H, we'll never know, Hubs, Jackie Justice, Bradley H, Abby, and Mr. Hines, Don Heights,
Abby and Mr. Heights,
Dan L, Claus B. Roll, David A. Stepmeister, Romina N, Coca Beach Kitties, Anna H.M., The Blue Kiwi, Marky Kez, The Broken Hero, Jane, Brooklyn, Kaylee B, Dax Moonshine, Smart Gary F, Dahlia H, RP, Smallville, A. Chris B. Bacon, Marcy the French Queen of Smallville's at H, the last name. That's it. Saba Bain, Thomas C, Kevin from Bear Beach. Late to the party, but I brought wine, Dan S, and Jenna P.
You guys are the best. Literally.
That's funny.
Your tongue twisters. You know, it's hard sometimes. But wish we could honestly.
I think it's on purpose.
I wish we could give them that minute each. That would take an hour or more just to say what they deserve. So it's reach that or say that. Say that. So anyway, thank you. We love you. Thanks for being part of the show.
I will be courageous. Fly forward like a dragonfly.
People of Iga speak fondly of Aikuni Shrine. Can you tell me about it?
I took the oath of our Sokoku Ikki there. And that same night, Oda Nobunaga attacked Iga. That shrine was a gate that my life passed through. I went from a girl to a warrior.
Some unassuming cases are crossroads, but we don't know it. I went to the market 1,000 times. And one day, a handsome man spilled a pile of tochi in my path. We married later that year.
Tomiko, are you alright? Maybe you're working too hard.
Don't talk nonsense. I was remembering my dead.
Do you think of them often?
There's not a day that I'm not reminded of them in some way. When my family was killed, a part of me died with them. I cried for blood, but the men of Iga urged caution. Men like your father. I hated him for that.
Do you carry that with you still?
No. It's different now. You are the difference.
you got for me? Thank you. What do you need? Go safely. Hello there. Hurry back.
When Valve announced the Steam Machine, everybody, including Valve, saw it primarily as a competitor to living room consoles like the PlayStation 5. But if you ask me, everyone, including Valve, got it wrong. To be clear, it's perfectly okay for couch gaming. It's just that, in my opinion, as a desktop PC or as a workstation, it's a way better product. Maybe the best desktop PC that I've ever used. To be clear, it's not the fastest. Oops, that's my teams. Yeah, you know that. I've been daily driving it. To be clear, it's not the fastest or the flashiest. It doesn't offer industry-leading upgradability or repairability. And the price is a big challenge. But the thoughtful hardware design and the seamless integration with Valve's SteamOS makes this the closest thing that I have ever experienced to a PC Mac Mini. And it's made me go from, well, I'd like to like Linux, to I don't know how I can go back to Windows now. Guys, the year of the Linux desktop is 2026, and the Steam Machine is leading the charge. And if you don't believe me, stick around for a few minutes, and I think I can probably change your mind. I can also tell you about our sponsor.
You agree. Their DXP 2800 GT is a great NAS for backing up anything from family photos, your entire movie collection, or even security camera footage. Learn more or grab yours by clicking the link below.
If you somehow missed our previous coverage of the Steam Machine, everything I've already said about it remains true. What Valve designed here is an outstanding little desktop cube PC that manages to offer up some expansion in the form of an M.2 slot and 2 DDR5 SODIMM slots, along with reasonable repairability through partnership for replacement parts with iFixit, and an unassuming design that manages to be as quiet as it is adorable. The one area where it falls short, ironically, is gaming performance. But that's not really an issue when I'm using it as a workstation, and for day-to-day use, it doesn't feel slow. And a big part of that comes down to the excellent SteamOS software. Now, it's worth getting this out of the way early. A lot of what I'm about to say about SteamOS is really about Arch Linux, the KDE Plasma desktop environment, or Flatpak, the package manager that makes browsing and installing applications on Linux very App Store-like. But Valve has made meaningful contributions to making these things as good as they are, including sponsoring upstream development. And, maybe more importantly, Valve is doing the work of curating all of the elements that make up SteamOS and validating the experience of how they work together. Take, for instance, the switching process between the default gaming SteamOS interface and the desktop one you're looking at here. All it takes is a quick reboot to desktop mode button, and within seconds, it's gone to be replaced by a lightly customized KDE Plasma that is made to be just so friendly to Windows refugees like this. So I would say that customizing it to your liking should take no longer than like 10 to 30 minutes. My oddball 6K by 2.5K monitor resolution was detected immediately, and while I was checking that, I was struck by just how simple the configuration is. Why does Microsoft need to hide HDR settings when it's setting? And for that matter, why is refresh rate an advanced option? It's 2026! This is more like it! Oh, and by the way, thank you for having pointer acceleration off by default. Duh! I frequently use programs as painless, browsing, WhatsApp messages, OBS Studio, StreamYard, and Calculator, for some reason, and Windows snapping works exactly like you'd expect. Actually, better than Windows in some respects. Have you guys ever had a window that's like stuck, snapped to a virtual display somewhere off screen and thought, darn it, is it Control arrow or is it Windows arrow moved over? Well, on SteamOS, I don't know, just close it and reopen it. A freshly launched application will pop up somewhere sensible, like, I don't know, maybe in the middle of the screen. Love it. The whole experience feels familiar but better, with thoughtful features like wiggling the mouse to embiggen it, like on a Mac. The ability to ping your speakers simply by clicking the volume slider rather than dragging it. Why did you remove that functionality, Microsoft? And, barring the odd weird frame drop, well-tuned animations that look and feel modern, but are fast and subtle enough that they don't get obnoxious. A recent Samsung One UI update is actually the perfect example of the kind of animation bloat that SteamOS eschews. Why are 5 tiles wiggling every time I swipe a notification? That's not to say that everything went perfectly. This is my desktop setup at work. Like that blissful looking mousepad, by the way, coming soon, please for the comment. Anyway, I ditched having a desktop the better part of a year ago because I have 2 desks out of 2 offices, and it's way easier for me to carry all my stuff around with me on a laptop. I'm a big fan of USB docking in order to hook up all my peripherals and charge my battery. Well, The Steam Machine has a USB-C port, and it's pretty high speed at 10 gigabit per second, but unfortunately, it is not wired up as a display output, nor does it have USB 4 capabilities to allow it to work with Thunderbolt peripherals. And this is a great example of the kind of thing that can end up overlooked in the rush to get an Embargo Day review of, but might come up during the weeks or the months that you spend daily driving a device later. It's unlikely to be a huge issue for you, since you likely won't be carrying your Steam Machine back and forth to the office in your backpack, but still, I wouldn't have minded a better Type-C port, or, while we're at it, a 2.5D network port. I suspect Valve knew what they were doing when they focused instead on high-speed wireless networking, less off 2.5D LAN, they do after all on the Valve hardware survey, but on a CPU with 6 Zen 5 cores, I should be able to exceed gigabit download speeds without buying a separate 2.5D SSD. On the subject of networking, you might recall that Elijah really struggled with accessing network shares in our recent Mixed Challenge series. Mounting network locations as though they are a physically attached disk is not well supported, especially on immutable OSs at this time. I'm happy to report, though, that the KDE team has found funding to chase down this issue. And I'm also happy to report that if your needs are less complicated than his, on SteamOS, SMB shares are easy to find, authenticate, and bookmark for future use. Though, I did hit a small snag when I was transferring files off my phone. First of all, I want to shout out the way that I get prompted when I drag and drop for whether I want to copy-paste, cut-paste. I really like that. But what I don't like is where the devil are my thumbnails? Looks like Dolphin, the default file explorer, needs to be configured in order to show previews for different files. And you can tell it anything under some given size, which fixed it. But I did find it to be a little slow to generate them sometimes. The bigger issue when I was transferring files was when I plugged in my other phone, an Apple. Turns out that out of the box, iPhones can't be accessed over USB at all. And this is a real problem for ingesting video. KDE Connect was the most common suggestion, and it's a pretty good piece of software that integrates with your iPhone wirelessly. Seamless experience. But when I tried to copy like 100 plus files, it just stopped. No obvious errors, no way to pick up where I left off, it just stopped. I suspect the problem is mostly Apple, since I've seen the same glaring anguish when I put through my but it doesn't change the conclusion. Copying big files from an iPhone is basically Since I was playing around with file transfers, I also found a comically bad workflow. There are extracting fragment to another folder. Like, why? Just copy it? And break and drop the files to Google Drive doesn't for some reason. On the plus side, though, once I had the files on my NAS at home, a quick AI guide had me using Tailscale to remotely transfer those files from my Steam Machine to my work NAS in less than 2 weeks. So, say what you want about AI, sometimes it really isn't totally design. It has made switching to Linux easier than ever before, because what used to be just endless wading through outdated Reddit threads or even worse, Steam forum arguments is now huge. Just a quick prompt and a probably helpful if over-the-top.
Of course
Getting back to that Steam font conversation
You sure
for a
do
second,
scream like her.
there's another DS issue. This one raised by Luke during our challenge that does not appear to be
my
addressed by
husband.
Steam Office. And that's Office. Windows
scaring
has
the
a
villagers.
great feature that allows you to
Go
click
home and
with
get
your
some
middle
rest.
mouse in the
Drink
blank
some
space
tea.
on a scrolling
You
web page or
are
application,
kind.
and then just
I'm
move the
sorry.
mouse
Yeah,
to start
I'm
a smooth,
attracted.
continuous scroll. The more you move, the faster it scrolls. And it even works horizontally for my spreadsheet lovers out there. If you've ever experienced repetitive strain symptoms in your wrist, I'm not a doctor, but you need to start using auto scroll right now. It majorly cuts down on unnecessary mouse movement